We're approaching the end of the 2021 Washington State legislative session now.
Okay.
I've been following along online, listening to lawmakers, experts, and the general public provide testimony about proposed new laws.
Okay.
And I noticed that when discussing bills having to do with domestic violence, some people use the term gender violence. And I want to ask, what do you understand the term gender violence to mean? And is it a useful term?
I think it's kind of a cloudy term. So I Googled it recently and I was just looking at what comes up first. And it was a mixed bag. So I don't think that there's a total agreement on what the term means. So that makes me think it's not a great term to be, using in things like, government. So I found it, maybe rooted in non-governmental organizations connected to the United Nations, where they are using it as a term about women, females being abused. It's basically kind of a patriarchal society kind of term. That when females are the targets of violence because of their gender and because of the imbalance of power in particularly in countries that are very patriarchal. And then I see on that first Google page, I saw other websites, institutions using the term more broadly, as if it could be inclusive of all genders. So that it could be males being targeted, could be females being targeted, could be people who've taken a gender identity, LGBTQ people, and that there's violence against them. But it's specifically because of their gender. So that's another way it's being used, is they're being targeted for some reason, could be different genders, but they're being targeted violently because of their gender. I think it could just add to the confusion. I don't know that it moves it forward when we're talking about domestic violence. It moves it forward to being inclusive. Because again, it seems to be then buying into this idea that domestic violence is happening because of a person's gender. It harkens back to the Duluth model and patriarchy. So that is saying domestic violence is happening because the males have more power over the females. And it's specifically the gender difference that is creating that medium for the domestic violence to happen. So I'd add it to it's one of 72 reasons why domestic violence happens. It's only one.
I see. Yeah, when I was abused by my ex-wife, I didn't get the sense that it was because of my gender. Now, of course, my gender played a role in how everything played out. Like if the genders had been switched, different police involvement, different kinds of societal pressures to take different kinds of actions. But I didn't get the sense it was because of my gender. However, if we're going to start using gender violence to be interchangeable with domestic violence, then I'm having to decide whether I was a victim of gender violence, and in which case I'm saying that it was motivated by my ex-wife's sense of matriarchy or anti-patriarchy or something.
Anti-patriarchy. I think that there's some. I wouldn't want it to get latched on as the only thing, but it's certainly an interesting thing to talk about and think about. So I think that's part of what's going on. Where women feel like it's their right to hit the guy because it's women taking their power and specifically taking it because men used to have it and now they get to have it, kind of.
Okay, with a
that
view
kind of attitude,
evening the score.
Yeah, evening the score. Yeah, and there's something to that, but it's only a piece.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think it's moving forward. to have gender violence become the term uh, for domestic violence in general.
Yeah, to me, it clouded things, like you said, because I wasn't sure what do you mean. I think in one case it was used as a catch-all to include domestic violence, sex trafficking, some other kind of thing, and it's like gender violence is a term that applies to all those things. Why not be specific? Because there's different causes for each one of those things, different solutions for each one of those things. If you
Yeah.
lump them together, I think it does have the effect of people hearing it and thinking, what we're focusing on solving here is violence against females. However, I suppose that can be a goal of yours, but if that's a goal of yours as a politician, you should state that outright.
Yeah, yeah. The term is confusing. Yeah.